Welcome, Right Riders. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live stream. If you're catching us on the replay, sorry we missed you, but thanks for tuning in. Blank books, I think we can all agree that in general, no content and low content books are quicker to create than writing a complete book, especially a novel. But are pre-made templates and automation going a bit too far? Is it cheating? Well, today I'm going to give the pros and cons that I found when it comes to taking the shortcut, and hopefully help you to answer the question, should I buy no content software? First, let's check out the chat. Let's see who all is in the house. It looks like we've got 5 people in here. The lady writes, thank you so much for joining me. I see you were the first one here last week. You're the first one here this week. I really appreciate it. If you're in the house, if you're lurking, that's great. But hey, just drop some emojis just to let me know you're here. And then you can go about doing your regular stuff and listen in. So I want you, before I get started, I want you to stick around a bit longer because I've got a huge announcement to make. Look, everyone wants to get faster and more efficient at their craft. I get it. Enter in the pre-made, no-content templates and automating software. But is using these options, is it cheating? Well, in my opinion, when used correctly, no, it's not cheating. But that said, there are some major pros and cons when it comes to using pre-made templates. Let's start with the pros. Number one, let's just start with the one that's obvious, which is it speeds up the process of creating self-publishing, no-content books. I mean, that's just a given. If you're using something pre-made, it's saving you time, it's saving you money, well, depending on how much they cost, but it's definitely saving you time, whether you're using the generator or the pre-made templates. Second, in theory, it reduces the amount of research that you need to do on your particular niche. Obviously, you don't have to research the interior if the interior is already made. You don't have to know what your competition is doing because it's already there. The third pro is because it's saving you the time on niche research and it's saving you time on creating it, it's giving you more time to create a killer cover. And let's be honest, we all know that people do judge a book by its cover. I mean, that cover is pretty much the very first thing people are going to see about your book. So you need it to be killer. So you're saving time in other areas that you can spend now on making the cover. Makes sense. And also, in theory, it provides a higher quality interior than something you may be able to do, especially if you're new to making interiors. Again, in theory. But let's be honest, guys, unfortunately, it's not all sunshine and unicorn farts. You know, there are some major cons when it comes to using pre-made templates and, generators. The first con that I found is you don't really know if the interior is the best it could possibly be. You don't know what kind of research the person that created it did. Did they go into the other competitors, go into their reviews, check out the 1, 2, and 3-star reviews, find out what people are complaining about or what they wish they had, and implementing that into that interior? You don't know. You don't know what steps they took or didn't take. You're putting a lot of trust into these particular templates. The second con is it's typically open to the public, which means it's not unique. Everybody has access to it, so it's not that special. Let me give you an example. Today's Wednesday, so for many people, yesterday was Taco Tuesday. If you participated in Taco Tuesday, chances are you went to your favorite Mexican restaurant and you got tacos. Well, unless they're a super authentic Mexican restaurant, chances are that taco shell, the tortilla, was not made on site. It was probably pre-made. But what makes that your place, what makes that your tacos that you love, is the ingredients they put in there, the amount of ingredients they put in, how many tacos you get, how much they charge, what kind of garnishing they do, what presentation. All of that is what makes that pre-made tortilla different as a taco than the other places that you don't go to. Next, because it's so quick to make these interiors because you already have the pre-made, it's very easy to get focused on quantity over quality. Again, if you want to think about the restaurant business, I used to manage a restaurant for years, so that's kind of my wheelhouse when it comes to examples. But think of fast food restaurant versus a gourmet restaurant. A burger is a burger, but not really. I mean, the fast food restaurant, just because of the type of business it is focused on quantity, not necessarily quality. Whereas gourmet restaurants, they focus on quality, which is why you can expect to pay a lot more for that quality meal than the fast food meal. Again, when it comes to interiors, if you make that pre-made template or that generated template from the generator, if you take it and you make it special and you add all these little nuances to it to make it unique, not only will it stand out in the crowd, but you can also typically charge more for it because it has more bells and whistles, and again, it's different. So I actually have one more con, but before I get to that, I want to know what negatives and positives can you think of when it comes to these pre-made templates, as well as using a generator. I want to see if you can come up with a con that maybe it's different than what my last one is, or maybe you can guess what it's going to be. So put it in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, put it in the comments, and also don't forget to stick around a little bit longer because I have a pretty big announcement to make. And while you're all typing that up, I'm going to go check the chat. I know I went pretty quick on this. I mean, a lot of these are pretty obvious, but especially if you're new to this industry, I know there's so many people that are jumping on this bandwagon and they're just looking at it as if everybody's doing it, so it must be right. And you really need to understand what the pros and cons are before you can make an educated decision. All right, Christopher, hey, good to see you in the house. Ray's in the house. Danielle, hi from London. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Sergio, Yvonne, look, we got a lot of people in the house. Lois is here. Weatherly, good afternoon, my friend. Kevin McGuire, glad to see you here, bud. Paul in the house. Everybody's saying hi. Watching from Nigeria. Ezekiel, thank you so much for joining us from Nigeria. Really appreciate it. So I want to know, guys, what con, negative con, whatever you want to call it, to using these pre-made templates do you think of that I didn't quite cover? Because I've got one more. And to be honest, I think it's one of these things it's very common, but it's so common that I don't think people are thinking about it as a negative, or they just don't think about it in general. So let me know what you think. Pros. Easy starting point to make your own template. Yes, absolutely. It is an easy starting point, especially if you're new. Like I was saying, that chances are it's going to be it's going to take you a lot of time both to research the interior as well as to create the interior. Even if you use one of my tutorials, if you're new to it, it's going to take you a bit of time. So using these pre-made templates absolutely will save you time, and it's a good way to get started right off the bat. Again, making sure though that you make it unique. Don't just take what you already have, what they give you, and okay, this is it. That's why, line journals, so many line journals out there, and people think it's saturated, and I mean it is. There's so many out there, but you can still take a simple line journal and you can make it different. You can put watermarks in the background. You can just put little flares around the side, depending on what your niche is. It doesn't necessarily have to be all girly. You can make masculine ones. You can make ones for kids, with like a little robot in the up top right hand corner, or whatever you want to do. Again, making it different so it just doesn't look like just any other line journal. Not only does it make it stand out when they purchase it the first time, but because it's different, when they need to replace it, because that's a great thing about these no content and low content books, they're consumables, which means once they're used up, they have to buy another one. It's not like I get a book and a novel and I can just keep rereading that same novel. These I need to go out and get another one. But if you've made it unique enough, even with just a line journal, if you made it unique enough and they like it, they'll go back and buy your exact book because yours is the only one like it. So again, it's a great way to start, especially if you're new, or if you've been doing this for a while and you just want to be more efficient. It's a great way to start. But, again, making it unique. Let's see. Yes, it is. It's a great starting point. I find myself consuming all of the templates I get. That's great, Katrina. Yeah, I actually didn't even, that's not even on here, but I know I've heard a lot of people say that, they buy templates and they don't even use them. So that's even worse because you're not only you wasting time purchasing it, but you're not even using it, so you're wasting money as well. That's a good one because that's not on my list, but absolutely that's true. KDP sometimes holds up publishing books that are freely available. Yes, good point, Weatherly. If they recognize the same interior, then it can get flagged. And so again, you want to make that, even if you get a template, you want to make it unique. And making it unique doesn't have to take hours and hours. You can put a watermark on, and when I say watermark, it doesn't necessarily have to be like right in the center. You can put it basically, watermark just means it's behind the lines, if you will. Or you can put something around the edge, some kind of border, just something as simple as that, and you can get that done in a matter of minutes. So it doesn't take a lot of time to make it unique, depending on what you're going to do. But just something as simple as putting a border around it or something like that will help it not get triggered by KDP. Good point. I always change up the templates I buy so KDP doesn't say it's content freely available. Great point, Sergio. Absolutely. Yeah, always change it up. Lady writes, customizing. Yes. Yeah, find myself customizing all the templates. Yeah, and that's great. That's great. You absolutely want to customize them. I don't think I've published any books where I haven't customized it in some way, shape, or form. Even the ones that I've done for my interior templates, because I know people are going to be watching it, before I publish those interiors, I've actually changed them a bit, put borders around it, put watermarks, something to make it different, because I know there's going to be people watching the videos that copy exactly what I do and just publish exactly that. And so I didn't want mine to get flagged. It looks like everybody's doing, really looking at it the right way. And that's the whole point is, if you're in this for it to be a business and you're in it for the long haul, you absolutely need to make smart decisions. And it looks like everybody's making really smart decisions on what they're doing, customizing it, making it look unique. Also customizing all the templates. I look for free at the moment as I'm only starting, but I guess I will design my own in the future. Yeah, Daniel, you absolutely can. There are free templates out there. And again, those are even more important to customize them because they're free. Everybody has them, or at least everybody has access to them. But again, you can customize it and you don't have to spend a lot of money. And even the ones that you buy, depending on where you get them, you can actually get really, really good price on some templates and generators. And I'm not going to plug any generating software or anything like that in this video. There are so many out there, and some are really, really good. Let's see, but yeah, I personally, especially if it's a new niche for me, I may actually purchase a template just to get an idea, and then not even use that template, and I'll create my own, but similar. That I don't necessarily suggest everybody do that because that's just wasting money. But it depends on how cheaply I got that particular template. But I absolutely, regardless of whether I get a pre-made template or if I make the template myself, I always suggest that you go into your competitors in that niche, look at their 1, 2, and 3-star reviews, see what people are saying that they don't like about it. And obviously, if it's something like, the book was bent, there were pages, obviously that's all Amazon's issue. That's nothing you have control over. But if they're saying, I wish it was a bigger size, I wish it was a smaller size, I wish it had, more pages, I wish it had, I've actually had, even on my own book, I've had people say that they wish there was some variation. It wasn't just all the same type of interior. Which I'll be honest, it's your book. It kind of hurts to hear, But if you look at it as a business, then you look at it as that's an opportunity. I'm not saying take down the current book, but you can make the next book that much better by listening to the 1, 2, and 3 star reviews. So if you're doing a new book in a new niche, look at the 1, 2, 3 star reviews on your competitors. If you're looking to build off of a niche you're already in, look at your own 1, 2, and 3 star reviews and do the same thing. Use that to build onto your next publication. Scribus is free and easy to use to customize. Okay. It's good to know, the lady writes. All right, so I'll be honest, nobody has said the one con that I still have left, and I'm going, let's see if Kevin got it. Once you start making money on this, you should spend the 10-ish to get Microsoft Office 360. Then you can create your own interiors. Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody knows I use, I've created interiors on in PowerPoint, obviously in Word. I've even started creating them in Canva because one of the viewers asked if you can, and once I thought about it, yeah, absolutely you can. So I've started doing my interiors in that as well. There's so many different softwares if you're going to create it yourself that you can use. Okay, so it looks like nobody has come up with my one con that I have left. Some people have kind of alluded to it, but I'm just gonna cover it real quick, and that is, once you get your first pre-made template, whether you bought it or you got it for free, then it just becomes a never-ending cycle. Like you always, there's a new one. Oh, I got to get that one. It's kind of like, whatever the newest technology is. Once you get it, you want to keep upgrading it. So that's a huge con that I've seen so many people spend a ton of money in. Is like they'll just get one type of interior, and then but this particular niche is really starting to take off too. So let me go get this one, and then like I was saying earlier, some people don't even buy or don't even use all the ones that they bought. But even if you do, it's really easy to get sucked into that mentality of always having to have the next best one, or always having to have it for these are my no content ones, and now I got to get some low content ones. So it's a huge con that I've unfortunately seen a lot of people fall into. Well, now that we're all on the same page and agree that pre-made templates and systems are okay if used correctly by modifying them to make them unique, I've decided to do something that I've never done before. I recently created an interior for a composition notebook. Standard size, which is the 7.44 by 9.94, 200 pages, full bleed. It even has the red margin on the left-hand side. I even created a full spread book cover for it. This interior doesn't exist in any of my no content interior tutorials. At least not yet. I don't know if I'm going to do one for it, but right now it doesn't exist in any of them. I'm giving away both the interior and the cover template away for free. If you want that, you can just go to kwheelerbooks.com/free and check that out. Like I said, I've never given away any of my templates. I mean, as far as I show you how to use them, but I've never actually just said, hey, it's already created, here you go. Now they both come with a Readme file, and big surprise on the Readme file, I tell you that you need to customize it. Make it different, make it unique, just like we covered in this video. It's lines, but you can add borders around it. You can add watermarks. You can remove half the page, whatever you want to do. And especially the cover, because the cover will get triggered real quick if you duplicate that cover. But on the cover, I even have the little spot where I show the lines. I give the information about how many pages it is. Just like if you were to go to a Walmart and get a composition notebook, all of that information is right there on that cover that I've created. So again, if you want that, if you don't, that's fine. But if you do, it's absolutely free. Just go to kwheelerbooks.com/free. Let's see. Anybody else have any other comments, questions, concerns? And it's funny because I also have that link down in the comments or in the show notes below, and I posted this up on YouTube earlier in the week, and I already have people have already picked up the particular interior before I even made the official announcement, just because they read the description. Let's see. David's in the house. Glad to see you. See, I was in the trap. Good call. A lot of templates now. Yeah. I haven't bought any in months, though. Not sure I will anymore. Yeah. Shiny object syndrome. Exactly. Paulo, hello from Argentina. Glad to see you here. I can't make them in Word. It's too frustrating. PowerPoint all the way. Yeah, I'll be honest, Kevin. I'm very seldom do I make my interiors in Word. I mainly did that for the tutorial sake, just because I know not everybody feels comfortable in PowerPoint. I personally don't use Word too often. But yeah, PowerPoint for the win is what I use, especially with my children's books and everything else. It's just I can use it for so many different types of the books that I write in. Really, the only time I use Word is when I'm writing for my either my nonfiction books, or if I'm using it for my like my novels and stuff like that. But for any kind of interior or children's book or whatever, I always use PowerPoint. Okay, just joined, ran across your videos yesterday, and I may have binge watched a good amount. Well, I'm glad to know that. Thanks a lot, David. I appreciate it. Means a lot. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Got a question. So we only have options for glossy and matte on pages, right? Yes, that's absolutely true. Pretty much for whatever POD, print on demand platform you use, those are going to be your options. It's going to be matte or glossy finish. You don't know how much value you provide in your channel. Thank you so much for free. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's why I do this. I'm really passionate about self-publishing, and I've always been kind of like a teacher mentality, and so I love helping other people, and that's why I do it. Let's see. Anybody have any other questions? I always come into your channel to learn new and great stuff. You don't know how much. Oh, I just read that one. All right, thanks. I appreciate that. Again, it's funny. The chat moves up and down. It's crazy. Glad to see so many people in the house. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Give that thumb smashy. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and click your little bell notification so you know every time I'm live. Right now, every single time, every Wednesday at 12 o'clock noon on, I guess that would be Eastern time on Wednesdays. Let's see. Kevin, I know Figure Publisher, you watched your channel, Keith. Oh, okay. He's never commented, but he told me he watches. Okay, that's great. Well, I appreciate it. So you can tell him that I appreciate it. There's plenty of channels that I follow that I don't comment on either. But every single subscribe, everybody that watches, whether you subscribe or not, I prefer you subscribe, but every viewer means the world to me. Like I said 100 times, you guys are like my second family, so I really appreciate it. I've got some really interesting. I know I've been doing a lot of lives. I actually have some pre-made videos that are going to be coming out, or pre-recorded videos coming out soon. Some are going to be adding on to things I've already taught. Like I know one person commented and asked on the video where I show how to make your description pop, and they ask, okay, where do I actually put these new symbols instead of the bullet points? I just got through recording a video to show you exactly how to do that, and I even use one of my books as an example to show you a before and an after. That pre-made video, that pre-recorded video should be going out pretty soon, and then I have an entire how to write a children's book from scratch series that's going to be rolling out in the next week or so. So those are things that are just coming along in the very near future. So if you have ideas, whether it's for a live or maybe it'll be another tutorial. I know I haven't done a lot of tutorials recently, so if you have some ideas, throw them in the comments. Let me know. I can't make any promises, but I really plan on starting to do a little balance. I'm going to keep doing the lives as long as everybody wants them, but then I'm also going to start throwing in some pre-recorded videos as well to cover things that may take a little bit longer than a live scenario would require. Let's see, Paulo. I watched your video, how to use PowerPoint to make the book. Thanks for making it look so easy. I wrote a lot about tech issues. Seem so complicated when you have no idea. Yes, it does. Anytime you're learning something new, it can seem very overwhelming, and that's why I try to make it as easy as I can. So if I make it look easy, that's intentional, because I want people to be confident, and I want you to not feel intimidated. So even if it may not be super easy, I try to make it as easy as I can. I try to make it as foolproof as possible, as simple, so that way you don't get discouraged. I've known a lot of people who start in no content books or low content books, and they do 10 books and they don't sell any, and then they just give up. Well, the mentality is the same with a lot of different business, which is the 80-20 rule. 80% of your success is going to come from about 20% of your books. So if you only have 10 out there, you need more. And I'm not saying a huge quantity. I mean, I've known people who make 6 figures a year and they have less than 1,000 books out there. And then yet I know people who have 20, or maybe not 20, but 10,000 books out there, and they're still making $100 a month. So it's about the quality, not the quantity. But if you're new to this and you've only published a handful of books, or maybe even 20 or 25, and you're not getting any sales, don't get discouraged. There are a lot of different things that could tie into why you're not getting those sales. It could be something as simple as maybe your cover can be better. Maybe your interior can be better. It could be your price point. It could be your description. There are a lot of different things on your already existing books that you can possibly tweak. But the important thing is to, whether you tweak them or not, learn from them, so that way you can make the next book that you publish even better. And also think outside the box. Don't just stick with just one niche. That's the other thing I've seen so many people throw up 20, 30 books in a niche that they haven't seen any sales in. So that's a waste of your time, and it's a waste of space on the Amazon platform. I'd rather, I usually do no more than 5 books in one particular niche until it's been proven to sell for me, and then I will build off of the ones that are selling. I don't duplicate what's selling. I don't do the exact same thing over and over. I take what is there, and chances are it doesn't have reviews at that point. But if there is, then I'll look at the reviews and see how I can make it better. But otherwise, I just look at the other competition and how are theirs different, and what can I do to my book to make it even better than my last book. Let's see, yes, 80-20 rule, spot on. Yeah, Kevin. It's just, and that's the problem with the 80-20 rule is, I've known a lot of people that use that mentality, and then they're like, okay, so if I just put more books up, then I'm gonna make more money by just by using the numbers. And the truth is in theory, yes, a higher quantity of books, if you use the 80-20 rule, you'll make more money. But here's the thing: if the quality is not there, it's instead of it being 80-20, it's going to be 95-5. 95 is going to come from just 5% of your books, because the other 95% of your books stink. So you need to make sure that the quality is always on point, and the quality is your top priority when it comes to publications, whether it's no content books or low content books or content books, novels, short reads, nonfiction books, whatever. Quality should always be your top priority. The quality of the interior, whether it's written or not, and the quality of the cover. See, anybody have any more questions, concerns, comments? I will say that, now, if you want to learn more about no content and low content books, including how to make the interiors yourself, because I know I've talked about making, getting the pre-made ones. But if you want to learn how to do them yourself, and you've heard a couple of people say how easy I make it look, I'm going to include a link to my playlist where I show you how to make those interiors. And there's probably about half a dozen, maybe a little more, of interiors I show you how to make. And I show you how to make them both in PowerPoint and in Word. And again, I'll include a playlist down in the show notes below. Let's see. All right. David, I did. I'm not quite sure what you did, but I'm glad you did it. I currently do merch by Amazon for shirts. Yeah, if you've put a comment in here and I missed it, just drop it down again. The comments have been going pretty quick, and so I might have overlooked it, which I just overlooked David's, but thank you, David, for bringing that back up. I currently do merch by Amazon for shirts. When you set up KDP, does it link both accounts? No, it does not. It will not link your Amazon merch account to your paperbacks or your Kindle books. No, but I do merch as well. Yeah, I didn't want to spam. Now I do know people who have taken covers or designs from their shirts and put it on the cover of a book, and vice versa. I've seen mixed results. I have not done that, but I have seen mixed results from people that I know that have done it. Some people have taken in their designs on merch, put it on that sold, and then put it on a KDP, an ebook or a paperback, and it sold really well. And then I've had people tell me that it can sell great on one and not on the other. So it's kind of it depends on your niche, it depends on your design, but you can absolutely try that as well. Which one is better if we want buyers to write in them or draw color? Which one is better? I don't know if you're talking about creating your own pre-mades. If you can just clarify, David, real quick, what do you want me to compare? Matte or gloss? It depends. If it's for children, I'll usually go with the glossy because they like shiny things, and it's easier. They may spill stuff on it. It's easier to wipe and keep the cover clean. And I found it to be a little bit more sturdy than the matte. But most of my no content, low content books are all going to be matte finish. A lot of adults just don't like that shiny look. They feel, at least subconsciously, that the matte finish looks more professional. It looks more traditionally made. Because if you go into a bookstore, or if you go into even a Walmart, and you look at the activity books or notebooks and that kind of stuff, very seldom are you going to see one that has a glossy finish to it. They mostly have matte finishes. So my rule of thumb is anything that's for adults, I use matte finish. Anything that's for kids, I use a glossy finish. But if anybody else has found other, look at it the other way around, let me know. We can all learn from each other. My shirt designs sell better on notebooks than on shirts. I have heard that many times. I don't know if it's just because merch is shirts are just so competitive. I mean, notebooks are competitive too, but not anything compared to merch. And that's the thing, is so many people say that, no content books and low content books, they're saturated. If you think books are, no content, low content books are saturated, try doing merch. It's nothing. It's not even close in comparison. Merch is just so loaded, but there's still places to make money as long as you find, do the research, find a good niche, and by good niche I mean one that people are searching for. So it has the demand for it and a low amount of competition. And obviously when you get to merch, it might be harder to find no competition or low competition, but a good way to kind of make it less competition is combining different niches. So if one of your niches is coffee and your other niche is dogs, if you do a cover or a t-shirt that has dogs with, and coffee in it, then not only have you just combined the demand from two different niches, but because you've made it a more unique niche in and of itself, your competition now gets lower because you're one of the few that has it. Now, the example I just gave, I know I've heard a lot of people give that exact analogy, so chances are that particular niche is probably pretty saturated too, but you get the idea. Let's see. I want to ask you if outside Amazon you promote your books some other way in other social media or other strategies. Good question, Paula. I do with some of my books. It depends on the niche. Now, I don't give away all of my niches, but anybody who's been watching these videos long enough knows I'm really big into softball. So the very first book I ever self-published was actually a softball journal for girls, and ironically, it happened, and this was back in 2016, I think, and it was, it was based on necessity, and that's a great way to really start off. Is if there's a need that you personally have, or there's a niche that you personally know, you're going to be able to do all these little nuances that other people that don't know that the niche, that they're not going to be able to have a clue on. But that one I did, and that actually it's still one of my best sellers that I have. And I just happened to stumble on it. It's just something I did. I actually did it for my youngest daughter. And those I sell at, I will do a few little craft fairs around the holidays, but my big place that I sell them offline is I sell them at tournaments. So I'll find, because I've been doing softball with my kids for years now, I know a lot of the people that run the different tournaments. And so, I may pay, anywhere from nothing to $50 for a table, and then I'll just sell my books there. As far as promoting them, I do use Amazon ads. If you're not familiar with Amazon ads, I have a couple videos on it. But I will tell you, if you want to take it to the next level, I actually did a review on an actual AMS ads course. It's it's going to cost, it's a premium course, but I'm telling you, it has absolutely changed my number. Like it made it 10 times easier and more efficient for me to run quality ads. But yeah, so I'll do ads on that. I also use Pinterest, which I'll be honest, I have to give kudos to Kevin McGuire. He's the one that first brought me into using Pinterest that way. But there's also, just check out Pinterest. You can put images there, and then inside the image you can put a link to your book on Amazon. In fact, you can even, if you're part of the Amazon's affiliate, you can actually put an affiliate link in there so you can make even more money off your own book. And I'll also include a link to, it's called the DIY Self-Publishing course. I bragged about it all the time. Dale L. Roberts is the one that's like the mastermind behind it. But if you get the premium monthly package, which I think is like $40 a month, but you can start whenever you want, end whenever you want, and you get access to like all the courses that he has in there, and he has experts in different areas. And Ava Fails does an entire video or an entire section just on Pinterest for authors, and it's crazy. Like I think she gets like millions of visits a month on her Pinterest page. It's crazy. And and inside those she has affiliate links, and she has links to her own books. And on my Pinterest page I actually have links to not only my own book, but I have links to other people's books as well. So I don't it's not all about me. I kind of share the love. So that's another way that I've advertised my books, if you will. And as far as Pinterest, it really depends on what your target audience is, because Pinterest is mainly consumed by females. And so if you have more masculine type of product, and your book is it's a no content book for for mechanics and stuff like that, not saying women can't be mechanics, but majority are going to be men, then Pinterest may not be a platform that you want to use, but it's absolutely an option. And so many people don't look at Pinterest as a social media platform, but it is. Okay. I know I went on for a while on that, but I hope I answered your question. There's when it comes to promotion and stuff like that, there's so many different avenues you can do. Let's see, white interior versus cream interior. If they're writing in it, go with white. Absolutely, Kevin. Yeah, the only time I use the cream interior is for novels. If there's really any kind of text, written content, if the people are going to be reading it for a while, then you want to use cream paper, because it makes things easier on the eyes for the reader. Other than that, I use white as my staple, my go-to. What do you guys think? Do you guys use cream paper for anything else other than long written content? I've heard some people that use cream paper for some of their coloring books. I usually just use white, but if you use cream, I'd love to hear what your experience is and why you would use cream paper for coloring books. Let me know. Have I got a video where you talk about how to look for KDP no content books on its own rather than everything mixed? If you're talking about niche research, Daniel, I do have a niche research video for no content and low content books, to find out what niches are popular. And I believe in that video I show you both how to do it manually as well as a software that I use. And when I use the software, I use it in a way it's not meant to be used for, but that's how I use it. That's how I roll. I always think outside the box. So if that's what you're talking about, yes. If you're talking about like a way to go on Amazon and only look for no content books, the only way I would know to do that is just by searching for very generic keywords like journal or diary and those kind of things. And you're still going to get, unfortunately, people use keywords that don't really pertain to their book. So you're still going to get a few in there that aren't no content. But, oh my God. Okay. I really appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to be honest. Nicholas Gomez, I don't even have banana stickers, but I want to give you a banana sticker because you are my first official super chat. See, you got me so flustered. I've never gotten a super chat before. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Throwing me way off. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you. Okay, let's see if I can get back to where I was. Let's see. I hope I answered your question, Daniel. Like I said, I don't know how you were looking at the what you were looking for as far as like on its own, but I think that's the only two ways I can think of. So let's see, matte and white for adults. Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's what I do. Absolutely, David. A color interior is insanely expensive. Stick with black and white. Yeah, especially if for no content books, I always do black and whites. Even if my images are not black and white, I will still do it in black and white. But again, use your judgment. Go in when you look at the previewer, look and see what the quality is. If you're doing it as black and white, it's still going to show it in color if I remember correctly. In cases like that, if you have a color interior but you want to do it as black and white, I actually would go the extra step and I'd buy a proof. I want to see how that's going to look, or at least export the PDF of it, not the one that you created, but an actual PDF from KDP. It should be in black and white if I remember correctly. So you can see, because sometimes color in black and white looks fine, like in my softball journals, but in other cases, depending on how dark the colors are, it may completely, if it turns black, it may completely drown out the entire image, and so it's just a waste. So, and depending on your number of pages and how much you plan on pricing your book for, okay, color interior is absolutely going to cost more to print. But depending on the quality of the interior and how much you want to charge for it, how much you can exceptionally charge for it, like people will actually pay for, you can still make a decent amount of royalties off of it. But obviously, you're going to make less royalties off of it on color than if it's in black and white. Do I have a Facebook group for support? Okay, so this is a great question. I've actually been thinking about doing a Facebook group for this particular YouTube channel. You let me know if you think that's something you guys would be interested in me doing a Facebook group for it. In the meantime, you can go to the community tab here on YouTube, and I will answer any questions that you have there, as well as you can just comment on any video whatsoever, and I'll respond. I usually respond. I'll at least respond within the same day, depending on the time change or the time difference. But yeah, so if you guys would like me to do a Facebook group just for this, specifically geared towards this YouTube channel, then let me know in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know. Otherwise, in the meantime, head on over to the community tab, ask me any questions, and I will answer you there. Oh, Ahmad, how am I doing? I am doing wonderful. I am doing exceptional. If I was any better, there'd have to be two of me, which my wife couldn't handle. Let's see. My rule is cream to read and white to write. There you go. That's a great way to put it. Nicholas, you still blow me away with that super chat. Thank you so much. Kevin McGuire, woohoo. Nicholas, hello Keith. Thanks a ton for all the content you create on self-publishing. Your content is really helping me grow in the self-publishing business. Tons. Thanks again. You are quite welcome. Thank you so much. Again, I try to help out. I don't think that I know everything about the industry, but every day I'm consuming more and more information to try to continuously learn, and not just in self-publishing, but just in life. And so I suggest everybody do the same thing. But yeah, anytime I learn something new, I will try to share it with you guys. But I've been doing this a hot second. So, there may be things that I take for granted. And so it may seem simple to me. So I may not think to ask or to do a video on it. So if there's something that is confusing for you, even if it's one of my other videos, I did a video and it's confusing for you, or there's something that you didn't understand, a great example is one of the videos I did is on how to create a book cover, and I believe it's how to create a book cover in Canva. I didn't show how to actually put a spine on that. How to actually, if your book is over 101 pages on KDP, you can actually put text on your spine. Or if you just want your spine to be a different color or different design, it didn't even dawn on me that I excluded that. So what did I do? Someone commented. I went back and I did a video on that. So now there's a video that shows specifically how to put a spine on your book in Canva. So if I missed something in a video, or I haven't done a video on something, make sure that I have a pretty long list of videos that I want to do. But, if yours comes up to be something that I hadn't thought of, and I find it to be a higher priority, I will move my other to-do list out of the way, and I'll jump on yours. So feel free to let me know in any video comment in the community tab. I will tell you, the community tab, I may not answer as quickly as I do the comments, because for some reason, YouTube, if you're watching, YouTube doesn't give me alerts when I get comments on the community tab. I don't know why, but they don't. So anyway, if it's on a particular video, I'll definitely respond to that quickly. Let's see. This is Jan. Thank you for inspiring me to write books. I have 3 in the market. I would like to know if you have a video to learn how to make kids' books with manuscript letters. Manuscript letters. I think you're talking about like tracing. And if you are, I'm actually right in the middle of doing that exact thing. I'm actually doing a tracing book based on one of my already existing children's book series, and so I actually do plan on doing one. If you're talking about just doing manuscript writing paper, I actually have an interior on how to create those. I have a video on that. That's the second video, I believe. The thumbnail says more interior templates. If you're looking to create the actual paper, which is, it'll be a line and then the dotted line. Let's see. Awesome. My apologies for interrupting. No problem. You never have to apologize, Nicholas. That's great. I appreciate it so much. And that just jumped. Okay. I'm not allowed to super chat. YouTube hates Ukraine. Oh, that's okay, Kevin. The love's still there. I know, buddy. With your covers, do you ever find that things are darkened when converted to PDF? Yes, I have found that when, depending on the interior or depending on the software I use. In PowerPoint, I haven't found that problem. With Word, I have. So when I create my interiors, just one more reason why I always use PowerPoint. I do know that Dale L. Roberts, he really swears by using Google Slides, which is basically just PowerPoint, but simplified. It still has the same features that I use in my videos. I'm comfortable in PowerPoint. I don't usually use Google Slides or even Google Docs that much. But absolutely, yeah. So I have found it with Word interiors, but I've not found it with PowerPoint. And for Google Slides, I don't know, because like I said, I haven't used them. Facebook group to channel would be awesome. I'd be happy to join. Okay, Nicholas, good to know. Yes, it'd be great for you to create a Facebook group. Okay. I think Facebook group would be good. Okay, so it looks like a lot of people are on board with the Facebook group. You never know, because I know there's a lot of people that don't use Facebook. So, but to be honest, Facebook and YouTube are pretty much my main social media platforms that I use. And I actually, as far as social media, my wife kind of, the whole family kind of gets a little annoyed. But when it comes to Facebook, the only time I am really on there is when I'm interacting with author groups and stuff like that, and writing groups. I don't really post too much on my social media, like on my own personal profile. So for those people who have sent me a like or sent me an invite to be friends and stuff like that, if I didn't accept you, don't take it personally. It's because I'm really not on there too much, except for the different groups that I go to. But yes, absolutely. Yeah, I will create a Facebook group for this channel. Stay tuned in the future. I'll tell you what the name of that group will be and everything else. I'll make the announcement before it goes live. Let's see. For your book, My Buddy Knows, did you use commercial free clip art for the pictures? I did, and I actually have videos on that. I used Pixabay for it, and I actually the How to Write a Children's Book from Scratch series that will be launching fairly soon. I actually show you step by step how I created the fourth iteration of that series, and I show you I go to Pixabay and I show you how I get the images and all that other stuff. But I've also done a video, David, where I show you how you can go to Pixabay and take, or whatever place you want to get your vector images from, and I show you how you can take those images and make them unique and make a completely different interior. A lot of people, when they think of those places, those stock image sites, they think about just taking that image and putting it in their book. But I actually have a video where I show you how to make an entire scene, if you will, using just those free images, but to make a completely unique scene with it. So, and it's really, I think it's only like a 5, maybe 7 minute video. I think it's called something along the lines of how to create a children's page, and so, or something along those lines. So you can check that out to see how I actually can take. But yes, for For my buddy knows, yes, those came from Pixabay. And I actually, even though it says no attribution required, which is just a big fancy word for telling you where you got it from, I always put attribution on my copyright page. So it does say in there, pictures credits go to pixabay.com. When uploading the PDF to KDP, will KDP convert an 8.5 by 11 to a 6 by 9 when you choose that size? No, it'll actually, no. What it'll do is when you look at your previewer, it will look completely wrong. It'll be all jumbled up depending on what your page itself looks like. They will not auto convert it. They will show you what it's going to look like, but they don't center it. They're trusting you to put in the correct information, I guess is the best way to put it. So if you have created an 8.5 by 11 and then you put that at 6 by 9, first of all, if you said that there's no bleed, if it goes from 8.5 to 6 by 9, chances are it's going to force a bleed as far as like how it's going to look in the previewer. So you're probably going to get an error on that, as well as it's just not going to look right. Tracing books. Yes, tracing books. I'm like I said, I'm working on that, Jan. I'm doing my own. It's actually for the My Buddy series, and once I'm done with that and I'm comfortable with it, because I want to advise on the right on the right character type, the right fonts that I use. I actually found a font that I think will look really, really nice, but once I'm done doing it, and it's I've got it down to a science to the point where I think I can teach it without it being a long video, then I will absolutely do a video on that. But again, what I don't want to do is, and I don't know, maybe you guys would be interested in a video like this. I don't want to do a video where you're seeing me do something for the first time. Kind of a reaction video, if you will. Now, if that's something that you guys would be interested in, let me know in the comments. To me, watching something like that would just drive me nuts. But I don't know. With me, it might be comical. I don't know how that would go. But it would definitely, because it's something that if I'd be doing it for the first time, it would definitely be longer than if it's something that I've got down, almost to a science. So when you want to do niche research and check your competition on Amazon, you go to subcategory, Kindle store. But is there a way to filter only by paperback? Well, yeah, you don't go Kindle store. Go to filter down, go to books. That's how you would do it when you're doing niche research. If you're doing it for no content books or any kind of paperback, really, go to on the top. You can do it on the left hand side, but it's so much easier. In the drop down right next to the search box, you can go in and you can just click on books, and then you're going to be in the Kindle store /books area, and then you can do your search for your keywords, and depending on what you're looking for, especially if you're doing children's books, which again I cover that in my upcoming series. But if you type in something for children, alphabet book, whatever, you scroll down on the left hand side, you can actually break it down by age group, and so that will help you niche it down as well. See, Pixabay relies on donations. While they are free, to never provide any payment for what is used does not help keep this service as an option. Yes, that's exceptionally true, Walker Publications. They do run on donations, and what they'll typically say, and I think it's really creative the way they do it, because they'll have things like by the illustrator artist, whatever, a cup of coffee, just little things like that. Other thing that you can do is because you'll see ads pop up on the right hand side from time to time on Pixabay. What you can do if you want to get rid of those ads, as well as what you can do if you just want to help out and maybe you don't want to financially, maybe you can't afford to give donations, you can donate in other ways. And I know, if I remember correctly, I think Kevin McGuire has done this, which is you can donate images, images that you took, quality images, don't give them garbage, but if you can actually go and create your free account, and you can upload images that you're giving them permission to share to make free for everyone else. So that's another way that you can add to it without necessarily spending money. But that's a great point, Walker Publications. Where are KDP books printed? That is a great question, Paul. It depends. They have Amazon has printers throughout the world, so it really depends. To be honest, I don't know the answer to where they are. I know that there are some countries that don't have any printers there, so and that it actually makes a difference, because that's going to actually cost more to ship, obviously, because if it's going to have to be shipped from a completely different country. But to be honest, all I can say is all over the world. I don't know the exact answer to that. So I mean, you can I'm sure you can go to KDP and look in their help section, and they can answer that. Technically, it would be, I don't know if it would be under KDP or if it would be an Amazon question, but yeah. Do you have videos on how to use Pinterest for promoting your books? I don't. Like I said, David, that there is that course that Ava did for Dale. If you want to check out the course, it starts off. I mean, you can do. He's got monthly. He just started these monthly subscriptions, which are really reasonably priced. I think it's the cheapest one is like $9.97 a month. The one that has the Pinterest, which has everything, I think that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like $39.95, something like that a month. But the great thing is you don't sign any contracts or anything like that. So you start when you want, end when you want, jump back in if and he's putting out new content virtually every month. So he basically wants it to be like the Netflix of self-publishing. And it's amazing. He's got experts that do how to create a Facebook group for your brand, how to, like I said, the Pinterest, how to use Twitter for getting more sales, and how to automate it so you're not sitting there on your phone all the time, every hour doing tweets. It's crazy the content that he has. Plus he's got stuff on how to do audiobooks and so many different things, and no content. He's got no content templates for free and all that other stuff. That's all in that course. So you can go to kwheelerbooks.com/ I think it's pub course. I'll double check and I'll put it in the links below. But as far as me, no, I do not. I've only done a few things when it comes to Pinterest for promoting, and to be honest, it's all what Ava told me to do in the video. So I don't really feel right basically regurgitating what she has in a paid course and putting that up for free, because she spent her and Dale spent a lot of time doing it, and so I don't feel right basically just ripping that information off and sharing it with everybody else. But I will be honest, I don't pay as much attention as I should. It's kind of like, it's one of the areas that I do my promotions, but it's not a big area. Like I don't run ads to it or anything like that on the Pinterest board. I will say my board, just by implementing what they've done, what she suggested, and I went from, I think it was like 5 followers to over 600. I believe, I don't have it open right now. And the last I checked, I get over 11,000 monthly views on my pages as a whole. And when you do your books, I mean, I would say 90% of your books or 90% of your content on Pinterest should be repins and should be things that aren't you selling something. So only 10% is going to be you actually selling something. So I don't bring in a whole ton of money from that particular avenue. It's just one other avenue off of Amazon that I have my books. The lady writes, Katrina says, Dale's course is worth it. Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. I don't shill out for a lot of things. I don't try to sell you guys on a lot of things, because I only want to give you true, honest content. And Dale's course literally quadrupled my profits. Like, not a lie, just completely honest, quadruple my content or my profits. So, it's, I didn't pay the monthly. I paid the one full price and that was it. But yeah, then he started doing, because he didn't have the monthly options back then, but now he does, and so he wants to make it as easily accessible for everybody. And again, by doing the whole, cancel whenever you want, jump back in whenever you want, I think that just makes it so much easier. You can go in there, consume what you want, and then if there's nothing else in there you want, you can bail out, and then maybe check back a couple months later and see if there's anything new. Let's see. Do you have experience in creating plan project type books? For example, woodworking, birdhouse, project plan book. I'm a crafter and a project maker, and I wonder if it would be worth the investment. That is a great question, Nicholas. I can't build a birdhouse to save my life. Woodshop isn't, I'm a computer programmer by trade, and these hands are not made for building, and so I absolutely don't have any kind of book like that, because I don't want to put out content that I'm not familiar with. There are people out there that just put stuff out there, and that are that just to sell it, and I'm not going to put something out there unless I'm confident. Again, it goes to the whole quality over quantity. But yeah, if you're familiar with that kind of stuff, which it sounds like you are, as a crafter and a project maker, obviously before you jump into it, especially if it's going to be time consuming, then make sure you do your due diligence and that you do your research, and look up woodworking project plan. I wouldn't call it a plan book. I would do a woodworking project planner, something like that. Something that's going to probably have more keywords in it, and probably give you some more results. See what's already out there. See how you can do it better. Look at their rankings on there so you can see how much are being purchased, because there could be a whole bunch of competition or very little competition. But if they're not getting sales, that means one of two things. Either that means that your niche is just not, there could be a lot of books on there, but if nobody wants to buy them, then they're not buying them. Or on the contrary, if you do enough research and you see that there is a demand for it, maybe those particular books just aren't giving them what they want. So that's a great opportunity for you to take something that you love, take something that you're good at, and really make a huge impact in that particular niche. Because if there's regardless of the competition, if there's low sales, then, like I said, it could mean that they're just not seeing what they want. So they're searching for it, but they're just not, they look at the look inside feature and it's just not what they're interested in. So check and see what's out there and how you would do something different. And if it's something that's either extremely competitive, or you've done research and you see that there's demand for it, but really nobody's buying it, in either one of those cases, you might want to consider just running a small budgeted ad on Amazon to just put your book at the top, of the page so they can see it. So that's what I would do for that. But absolutely, if it's something anytime it's something that you have a passion for. I'm not saying if you have a passion for something, you don't necessarily need to do a no content or low content book for it. But if you have a passion for something, absolutely take the time to do niche research and see if there's a need for what you have a passion for. Don't just waste time creating something and then find out and then just hope that it's going to work. I've seen too many people do that, where they just, this is something I want, and sometimes that'll work out for you, but a lot of times it won't. And so, if you're someone, and this is, again, if you're trying to make a business out of this, if you want to just do it just so you've got that, and you want to, doing it for your own personal creation and something that you can have that you can fill out yourself, that's fine. But if it's something that you want to sell and make, like I said, make a career out of, is you want to make sure that there's that high demand for it, and a low amount of competition. And if there's a higher amount of competition, or there's just not a lot of sales in there, but the potential is there because there's such a high demand, then yeah, either way, I would run just small $1 a day budget ads. Very seldom do they even reach that $1 a day for many of the ads I've run. But yeah, so that's what I would do. Walker Publications, Rebecca, Gerald Tsunami, low content Facebook site helps with Pinterest publications. Yes, Rebecca does. Pinterest ads sucks. I tried it, lost a lot of money for 0 sales. Sorry to hear that, Kevin. Like I said, I've never tried Pinterest ads. I did, like I've done Facebook ads. That was a whole nother course that I took. But anybody who's familiar with Chris Fox, he has ads for writers who hate math. That's reasonably priced, and I don't have a link to it, so you'll have to go check out his channel. But I did that. I was in the beta course, and he teaches about Facebook ads and a couple other ads. So yes, I've done Facebook ads. My Facebook ads was pretty. I got sales from it, and it was definitely profitable. I didn't spend a lot of money on it because it was something still new to me. But Amazon ads, I absolutely run, and I've got them pretty much down to a science as far as, very seldom do I put one up that's not profitable. What courses did you rely on in addition to Dale's? Great question, Mohammed. When it comes to, I just said I did take, I did take Chris Fox's course on ads, but if you're talking about just, which by the way, Dale does have one on Amazon ads as well. But as the ones that affected my career, my business, the best was Dale's. That's the reason why I bring it up so many times. Is it really quadrupled my profits? What other courses did I take? When it came to AMS ads, to start with, I did go to Dave Chesson, Kindlepreneur. I went to his website and I did his AMS ad. He's got a free course on AMS ads, and I guess I can include a link to that too. But yeah, I did take that. It was I think it's like 5 videos, again completely free, and then so I did that. But Dale's course just has everything. Everything you could think of, from being a beginner to advanced to audiobooks, no content books, like I said, Facebook groups, Pinterest, Twitter. I'm sure there's stuff I'm missing because, like I said, he adds new stuff in there. Editing 101. He actually has an editor, someone who has, I believe, edited for. It's not the New York Times, whatever the other. It's like a New York Times best-selling book. It's not New York Times. It's whatever the other one is. I can't think off the top of my head. Kevin, if you know what it is, you can drop it in here. But this guy's an editor, and he's got huge credits to his name, and he gives you tips on how to edit your book and how to get your book edited. So there's and then keyword 101 course that I just got through finishing of his of Dale's. That's all included in the course. So depending on the subscription that you do, obviously the $9.97 one you're going to have limited to what you have access to. But so yeah, I've taken other courses. The one that I would stick behind is Dale's. The course the Profit Formula course for AMS ads, that one's a great course as well. But that's just for ads. That's all that is. Dale's is encompasses everything. Like I said, he wants it to be like the Netflix for self-publishing. And that's why people have asked me if I'm doing a course, and why? Dale's got it all. He's got it all included in there. And obviously there are things that aren't in there yet. But again, he's adding things in there every month, every couple months. So yeah, that's the one that I would really stand behind. If I was to do a course, it would be a while down the road, and it would probably be focused on children's picture books. But let's see. I think I'm going to set a goal to upload my first book today after looking at your videos and this live Q&A. Hey, that rhymed. Great to hear, David. Absolutely. Like I said, it's really mind-boggling when you and kind of scary when you publish that first book. You're putting your baby out there for the world to see, and no one wants to hear that their baby's ugly. But I just want to let you know, regardless of what kind of book you put out there, you may get negative reviews. That's fine. Don't take it personally. Take it as a learning to make the next book better. Once you publish it, once you get your very first sale, I want you to let me know in the comments, because I would love to see how quickly you get that first sale. What do you spend monthly on Amazon ads? Do you have a comparison of profit to costs of AMS ads for July? I'll be honest, I actually didn't run any in July. I do this part-time, and so I run my ads sparingly. I just started up ads this month because I'm trying to prepare for fourth quarter and get my books in people's minds already. I have 5 ads out right now. Each of them have a monthly budget or a daily budget of $50 a day. Obviously, they're not coming anywhere close to that. And so on average, I spend anywhere between $0 and I think the most I've ever spent was $200 in a month. But my sales that I got went way beyond the $200. But keep one thing in mind: when it comes to AMS ads or any kind of ads whatsoever, you want to treat it kind of like gambling, no matter how dialed in you have it, because you want to make sure that you do not spend anything that you can't afford to lose. And the reason why is, one, you're not guaranteed that you're going to get a sale. Regardless of how dialed in you may have your ad, something may happen with some new book that came out or whatever where it blows yours out of the water and you don't get any sales. Also, the most important thing is that when you run your ads, the sales that you get from KDP, you won't get for 60 days. But AMS is going to take their money out for their ads at the end of the month. So I actually learned that out the hard way the very first time I did it. So yeah, make sure that if your costs for the month is $50 and you made $5,000 in sales, that's great. But you're not going to see that $5,000 until 60 days from now. But they're going to want their $50 at the end of the month. So keep that in mind when you run any kind of ads to your books. Let's see. Kevin, I can't remember, but yeah, he is big time. Absolutely. Like I said, if I was on my other computer, I would just log in real quick. But I know it's not New York Times bestseller because I said that, and he corrected me. Wall Street, that's what it is. It's Wall Street Journal bestseller. It was a Wall Street best-selling editor. So he's had at least one book that was in the Wall Street Journal bestseller list that he personally edited. He's also a ghostwriter and everything else. I mean, this guy knows his stuff. And yeah, he does that editing. I think it's called Editing 101, whatever. But yeah, absolutely incredible content. Let's see. Yeah, the editor. You got it. I've been working on coloring book throughout the video. I thought it was get uploaded today, but now I'm not sure. Yeah, I've actually got a couple coloring books that I'm working on as well. I've got a lot of things between, a lot of things on my to-do list that I haven't quite finished. Let's see, David. Oh wow, 60 days to get paid. Did not know that. Yes, KDP pays 60 days out. So, again, that's assuming you're publishing through KDP. If you're publishing through Ingram, or I think Ingram is 60 days as well, or one of the other print-on-demand sites, then you'll have to go into their terms of service and their information to find out what their payout period is. But I will tell you, as far as Amazon ads is concerned, they're going to take your money out at the end of the month. So, Fitness Health System, glad to see you. How much you earn till now with KDP no content books? Okay, so this is a question I get a lot, and that is a really good question. And unfortunately, I'm gonna be that guy. When I first started this YouTube channel, my wife had one rule, and that was not to share any of our financials. So because of that, and out of respect for my wife, I don't give out the amounts that I spend. So here's what I will tell people, or the amounts that I make. But here's what I will tell people. I am still doing this part-time, and I do more than just no content, low content books. I have children's books out there. I have a young adult novel out there. I have a Kindle short read out there. So I mean, I have some pen names that I have out there as well. So I don't just do no content, low content books. But here's what I will tell you. I don't make enough yet to quit my day job, but I make enough to keep me interested in this business. So I hope that answers your question. I'm sorry that I can't be more specific, but like I said, out of respect for my wife and her request, I don't share that information. Alliance of Independent Authors is one source along with AWA for writing. Derek Murphy has many editing and writing tutorials in addition to book cover design. Yes, and he also has a Facebook group. Correct. Good point, Walker. So yeah, the Alliance of Independent Authors absolutely is a great place to get information. I mean, this is a nonprofit organization, and their goal is to give as much information to the indie authors and to stand up for us as much as possible. You can actually go to their site, and they vet out so many different businesses, companies, and I don't know, like all different things that they vet out. Like for example, if you want to try to find a traditional publisher, and you go to their site, if someone shows their interest in you, some publication shows their interest in you, you can go to Allies, and again, that's Alliance for Independent Authors. Go to their website and check out their watchdog tab and see if that company is listed as a green, which is good, yellow, which is questionable, red as in stay away from it. Because I will tell you this, when it comes to traditional publish, you should never pay a dime to be traditionally published. If you are paying even a penny, then you're not being traditionally published. It's what they call a vanity press. And not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. There are good ones and there are bad ones, but you should not have to pay to play. You should not have to pay to publish your book. Now, and that's one reason why I wanted to do this channel, is to show you guys, and most of the stuff I cover is either very reasonably priced or it's absolutely free. I want to give you as much information as possible to do it yourself. And now, don't get me wrong. I mean, like I said, I have clients who pay me to publish their books for them, or to do certain things for them, and but that's because, and I'll tell them, the first thing I tell them is, I have a YouTube channel, I'll show you how to do it. And they're like, well, I only have so much time and I'd rather spend the money to do it, and that's fine. So if time is more precious to you than money, and you want to just get it done, then those type of vanity type presses may be okay. But if anybody asks to get paid to publish your book for you, the first thing you should head over is to that Alliance website, check out their watchdog section, and look up that particular company and see if it's in the red to stay away from. Okay. Fitness Health System, how to promote KDP no content books. Like I said, I promote mine in a couple different ways. Some of them I run Facebook ads to, some of them I run Amazon ads to, and I have a few that I do on my Pinterest board. So those are the ways I do it. The ones that I've found the best results from have been Amazon ads. That's been the best, what they call ACoS, which is basically how much you're spending versus how much you're making. That seems to be, or the ACoS, the percentage, and that seems to give me the best ratio that I found. But again, Pinterest and Facebook are still areas that I'm still tweaking. And when I say Pinterest, again, I'm not running Pinterest ads. I just have a Pinterest board where I have my books in there, and I have links to the Amazon page. In your opinion, which elements are most important in attracting children book buyers? Is the cover, the title, additional information. In your experience, you sell focus on adults or children's taste. The person buying the book is going to be the adult. You want your cover to be spot on because you want it to draw the adult's attention, but you also want it to keep the child's attention. Because once they buy it, whenever you sell anything, you don't want them to just buy that book. You want them to come back and buy and buy and buy and continuously buy. So even if your title and your cover and everything and your description is spot on for the adult, if that content and the cover and everything, if that's not engaging for the child, they're not going to want their parent. They're not going to bug their parent to buy another one or to buy another book from you. So unfortunately it's kind of a both. I mean, the initial person that's going to get the attention is going to be the parent or the adult. So you want to make sure that your title, your subtitle, if you have one, that those are keyword rich. You want to make sure that they pinpoint what your book does, what it is. The cover obviously has to be, for a child, you want it to be draw attention. You want it to be bright, and I say bright. It depends on the age of the child. I always say if it's like 0 to 6, I usually will do brighter colors, more vibrant colors. I usually will stick with the primary colors. The red, the yellow, the blue. When they get a little bit older is when I'll do more pastel type colors. But so you want to draw. It's also drawing the adult's attention because, especially if it's their parent or their guardian, you want them to be able to so and so is really going to love this book. I know they're going to love this book. They're going to love that cover. It's funny. It's whatever. So not just a drawing to their appeal, but to their appeal for their child. Them knowing their child, knowing whether it's something they're going to enjoy. Then the description is basically your sales page. And so you want to make sure that that's dialed in as well. And again, I've got a video where I show you how to use some HTML and really make that that whole description section pop. Walker Publication is typically not a quick turn to profit business. Yes, most of the folks making money do this full time, have taken 2 to 4 years to build their business, which have multiple revenue streams. That is absolutely true. I mean, I remember when I first started this in 2016, my first, I think my first month, I might have made $20. So, all right, guys, see, in your opinion, which elements are most important to attract children? I already covered that. Do trade rules remain the same compared to merch for t-shirts? When it comes to books, you really worry more about copyrights than trademarks. So I hope that answers your question. So I actually have to head out because I have a doctor's appointment. I am so glad you guys stuck around. I didn't expect it to go this long. If you have any questions, continue to put it in the chat, put it in the comments, and I will still respond. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, remember to subscribe to the channel so you can continuously learn. Hit the bell icon so you get alerted every time I put out a new video. And until next time, I'm Keith Wheeler, and remember to write right.